Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Linda Anderson, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Navy is Captain Nick Tate. 2026 marks 125 years of dedicated service by the Australian Army and its predecessors. Today, we remember and pay tribute to Private John Cyril Davis and warmly welcome his family who are in attendance today. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Clubs Association. We welcome members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by family and visitors to the memorial. If you are able, please stand and join in singing the national anthem. Visitors who are able to do so, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament. Flowers of the forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Private John Cyril Davis. Known to his family as Jack, Davis was born in the morning of the 4th of November 1892 at Frogmore Farm, Moreton-in-Marsh, Gloucester, England. His twin sister Marjorie was born 30 minutes later. Jack was the 6th child and 3rd son, and Marjorie the 7th child and 4th daughter of the 8 children born to Francis Charles Davis and Carolina Clara nee Hodges. He grew up in Moreton-in-Marsh in the Cotswolds and was privately educated at Shipston-on-Stour. After leaving school, he was apprenticed for 3 years to Fred Williams at Stratford-upon-Avon, working as a draper. Davis then worked as a draper's store in Ashbourne, Derbyshire. He boarded with other staff members at a home nearby. Outside of work, Davis also served for 3 years in a local territorial army unit. In 1913, Jack emigrated from England to Australia to join his older brother Charles and spent his 21st birthday at sea. He disembarked in Melbourne in November and went to work with his brother as a farm labourer for Guthrie's Orchard near the Broken River. The brothers worked hard and spoke of buying an orchard together, but the outbreak of the First World War put a stop to their plans. When recruiting officers opened, Jack Davis travelled to Melbourne to enlist, but was rejected as medically unfit. He returned to Shepparton and continued to work with his brother. On the 4th of March 1915, Davis and his brother enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force at Shepparton, and both were accepted by the medical officer. They were sent to Broadmeadows Camp, where, after their initial training, they were allotted to the 6th Reinforcements to the 5th Australian Infantry Battalion and were given consecutive service numbers. Only days before leaving Broadmeadows, David posed for the photograph which is displayed this evening beside the pool of reflection. Along with other reinforcements, they were sent by train to Sydney in June, where on the 26th they embarked aboard the transport ship Cermak, bound for Egypt. The stay was only short, and the 6th Reinforcements, including the Davis brothers, landed on Gallipoli on the morning of the 5th of August and were immediately taken on strength of the 5th Battalion. By mid-morning, the battalion was marching up to the front line and took positions in front of Johnson's Jolly. The following day, the battle for Lone Pine began. The 5th Battalion remained in their positions, but were subjected to heavy Ottoman shell fire. Throughout the 7th of August, Ottoman artillery shelled the whole of the Australian line. The exact timing of his wounding is not recorded, but during the day, Davis was wounded in the head by shrapnel, suffering a fractured skull. He was evacuated by ship to Egypt and hospitalised in the 19th General Hospital at Alexandria. Davis's condition was listed as dangerously ill. Despite an additional report of his condition stabilising, Davis's condition deteriorated and he died in the early hours of the 24th of August. He was laid to rest in the Chatby Military Cemetery that same day. He was 22 years old. The epitaph on his headstone reads, "In ever-loving memory of our dear brother Jack." Only 2 days after Jack had been wounded, his brother Charlie Davis was badly wounded in the arm by shrapnel and evacuated to Egypt. It is uncertain whether he was able to see his brother before he died or if he attended the funeral. After a brief return to Australia, Charlie went back to war, serving on the Western Front with the 57th Battalion. He was wounded on another 2 occasions and returned to Australia in March 1919. He was mentioned in General Sir Douglas Haig's dispatches for distinguished and gallant services and devotion to duty in the field. During the period of the 26th of February to the 20th of September 1917. Jack Davis' name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right among almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. Its photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private John Cyril Davis, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Poziere or in the low scrub at Gallipoli with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the director, staff and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today. We wish you all a very pleasant evening.